Shatter Blast is finally here and it's actually good, if used correctly. Today we're gonna test it out and show you the best augments to use right now. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe for more content, and let's get this. Alright guys, so Shatter Blast is finally in Black Ops 6 Zombies. We definitely had to wait a bit too long for it, and not gonna lie, I've been seeing so many videos and posts about this ammo mod being actually really bad. So today I'm actually here to test it out a bit and actually tell you that if used correctly, this ammo mod is actually kind of fantastic. I was able to kill more than 35 zombies per hit with some specific combos. Yes, at first the ammo mod might seem pretty bad and nothing out of the ordinary and definitely kind of useless, not gonna lie. But after you get to play around with it and test out all the augments and everything, you can actually see that this ammo mod is kind of crazy. So for this video, we're going to be testing out the minor augment called Blast Zone, which basically increases the size of the explosion. It doesn't increase it by much, it increases by 1 meter, but you know, it's an increase, so I'll take that. And for the major augment, I'm using Blast Chain. So Shatter Blast has additional detonations. And if I'm not mistaken, it goes like up to 4 detonations that go around the main detonation that happens. This is one of those ammo mods that you can use as a defensive one, not as offensive one. Not gonna lie, it's definitely not going to be the replacer for Deadwire. I'm just gonna say that now, because Deadwire, you know, at the end of the day, it's still the best ammo mod in the game, and mainly because it's one of the weaknesses for some of the elites in the game and even one of the bosses. Shatter Blast is not the weakness of anything, basically. But check this out. We're gonna get a big horde of zombies piled up. We're around 42. This can be done on pretty much any round. So I'm just gonna pile up all the zombies. You wanna throw a decoy at the ground, get all the zombies to go in, and then do this. Look how many kills that was. Okay, let's see. Let's count it. That was almost the whole horde. So we got 5, 6, 7, and then 10. Then 18. 26, 27. 32. 33, 34 kills that was. Kind of insane, right? Kind of insane. Let's do it again. See what happens. Big horde of zombies. There we go. Shatter Blast activates. Bunch of explosions. And it seems like we killed a big chunk of the horde again, which is very nice. That should have been like another like 20 kills or something like that. It's kind of annoying that we have that abomination. I think we should pretty much take care of it so we can do some proper testing. Being on this high round definitely doesn't help the fact that I have a kilo with me. Not a bad gun though, I'm gonna say that. And then let's take down this fella right here. Keep in mind that Shatter Blast does activate on Manglers or Doppelgas or stuff like that, so definitely activates on special zombies. It can activate on elites as well if you have the augment for it, but I'm just gonna say now, do not use that. It's absolutely useless. Alright, let's get them piled up and everything. Decoy right there. Wait for all the zombies to go in. Look at that. There's like 5 or 6 zombies left alive. Let's check how many we have killed. 2, 4, 6. So we have 6 zombies alive, and we know there's 40 maximum at once. So that means we had 34 kills with Shatter Blast. If you have the perfect activation, you can kill 40 zombies at once. I definitely did it a few times. So definitely getting 40 kills is not something bad. The only problem with Shatter Blast is, as I said, with Deadwire, you do extra damage to amalgams, you do extra damage to disciples, and you do extra damage in the Patient 13 boss fight when he's weak to Deadwire. So Deadwire is good for a different set of zombies in this game. Same with like Cryo Freeze, or same with Shadow Rift and stuff like that, but unfortunately Shatter Blast, well, there's no zombies in the game that have weaknesses to Shatter Blast. And you might be thinking that this could be good against the Citadel Daymore boss because he has a lot of armor and Shatter Blast is very good against armor. Well, it does not work like that. It's not going to do anything to the boss. because that boss doesn't have any weaknesses basically. So definitely don't take it in boss fights. Let's do another one of these. Bam. Explosion. Look at that. That was a lot of kills. One thing I don't really understand and never really can get the hang of things, how are those small explosions happen, you know? Because they never go in a certain pattern, they just like randomly happen. There we go, let's take down the Mangler, very nice. And this is like the best situation that I found Shatter Blast useful. Pairing it up with decoys or maybe monkeys and stuff like that, so it can activate like that. Because if you do it like this, especially at the higher rounds, the zombies do move quite fast and it's kind of hard to kill a lot of zombies with the extra explosions because they will pass the explosion by the time it goes off. And what's kind of cool is that if you have the augments for elemental pop to reduce the cooldown and activate only Shatter Blast, you can actually get the double activation sometimes, like one after another, which is kind of cool. This is what I mean as well. For example, if you use Deadwire on one of these rounds and you have this huge horde of parasites, well, if you do that with Deadwire and it activates, it literally kills everything. Well, it did kind of kill everything here as well. How many that was? 24 kills. Okay, not bad. But Deadwire just has that huge radius whenever you use the lightning augment, which is like kind of cool. So definitely that's why Deadwire is still the top ammo mod in the game. Plus is the weakness of some of the elites in the game. As I said, if you use big game augment for this one, it's not really going to do anything. It's kind of useless. There's one that repairs armor whenever you hit the armor zombies as well. That does repair a fair amount of armor, but definitely not as useful. And then there's another augment that I think is called Blast Wave. And whenever a blast happens, normal zombies are knocked down, but I'd rather have extra damage or extra explosions rather than, you know, the ability to knock down some zombies. Alright, so let's try to train up a bit and actually use this thing without decoys. You can activate on Manglers, as I said. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it can take away like half of his health. Testing it out on this kind of moments is not the best. But there we go, that activated right there. You see, that got a few kills, but not as many. That was only 9 kills. Because the horde is like moving around. They're not standing still because we don't have, you know, they don't have the decoy to go to. And because of that, they're not going to be in the explosion when it happens. Let's try to do it again. You can definitely try to like train in a circle or something like that, and then it's gonna be a bit easier to actually hit them. But with how fast the zombies are in this game, at high rounds, it's gonna be kind of hard. Look at that. Activate it again. How many kills we get? 9, 10, 11, 14, 18, 19, 22. Okay, that was actually not bad. I definitely need to get myself quick revive because we might take it down here. I wish like those explosions would actually follow the zombies, not like randomly happen in the same area. I think that kind of buff would have been a bit better. Because, you know, the extra explosion just happen in the same place, so they don't really do much if the zombies are moving. But if maybe a nice buff would be for the explosion to actually follow the zombies, to happen on the zombies around the zombie that I first activated on. And then another nice buff would be the blast zone augment, the one that increases the blast radius to be a bit bigger. Look what he did to a Mangler. He took away like, what, 60% of his health, something like that. There we go, it happened again. We killed that Mangler. The other ones are pretty low HP. Definitely not the best. I still feel like Deadwire's a bit better, but this thing can be a nice contender for one of the better ammo mods in the game, at least. So a decoy right there, we just have a few zombies, and is it gonna activate? There it is. You see the explosions like randomly happen in this area right here. Would have been nice if, for example, it activated on that zombie for the explosions to activate on the zombies around this guy, you know? That's the explosion is following the horde. Don't be like that. Throw a decoy right there. Everybody goes for the decoy, and then we do this. Look at that. We literally killed everybody there. Alright, I want to see how many kills that was. I want to see how many kills that was, because that was pretty nice. So that was 4, 7, 8, 11, 13, 17, 21, 23, 26, 29, 29, 38 kills. That was not bad. If you ask me, that is actually not bad. Look at that. We almost killed the Mangler in one shot. Shadow Blast right there. We're gonna wrap it up here for today, guys. Let me know in the comments what do you think about Shadow Blast. Smash that like button, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.